Hey guys, it's AF1 again, and I finally updated the FFL franchise rankings to the end of season 12, where obviously Glendale Ghost won the Super Bowl. And once again, this is going to be all in one go, no edits, raw audio. So let's just get into it. So obviously, the four new teams that are entered the franchise ranking are the Saints, Bills, Ghosts, and the Reindeers, with the two returning teams being the Steelers and the Jaguars. And obviously, I'm gonna keep using the same templates I used from the beginning. Obviously, like the teams use ones that they make postseason, the ones that they make postseason, and then the ones to use two more times. There might be some changes with the templates depending if they use like three, but that don't matter until we get there. Without further ado, we might have a new worst team in FFL history, which might be the New Orleans Saints. They're one of the first teams to not finish all five games since season one, obviously, along with Fairbank. They average 43 and a half points per game and allowed 68. And let's be honest, Prom barely played for the Saints, so kind of no surprise that he won LVP. But this team just had like a lot of subs used. They just decided to not really care that much. I mean, Prom didn't care, so obviously, yeah, some people like Bijan, myself, and like others, people were starting for the Saints, like especially against the Bills game. None of the I, to my concern, none of the actual people on the roster played against on the Bills because I do remember that team just being P man at quarterback and then me and Bijan at wide receiver. So this was just a team where I put them below the Washington Commanders because like yes, they both went like undefeated. They both went defeated and all that stuff. But like, let's be real. Commanders had more close games. They actually had the roster intact. Not really much drama between that. So that's like the only reason why the Saints are below them. And then number 39, taking a dip, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Obviously, the Turbo did a really good job managing the team in season three, but then the poor GMing from Ellie and Blocks from season 8 and 12, respectively, have brought down the overall franchise ranking. And as you can see, how the lineup has been like not as good ever since season like 3. And then obviously the facts is like now their combined record is 4-12, and as you can see, they dropped from number 39. They dropped from number 30 to number 39 in the franchise ranking, and I even predicted that they're gonna go down in the franchise ranking. Uh, Join the pre everything, as the Duck said. And the only new addition to the accolades is Brand going all pro as the wide receiver too. At number 36, I have the Buffalo Bills. Some of the facts that I did put, they had the most points scored in a single game this season, and they had the second lowest points in playoff history, was just 6. But to be fair, they were without their wide receiver, the main wide receiver one with Rax. Now the problem about this team is that I feel like Rax was just their entire offense. It don't matter that Eddie was just chucking that shit to him, but it's like sometimes he had Doug too, but it's like the main attraction of that team was just how dominant Rax was compared to like others. And it was pretty obvious once they didn't have him in the playoffs that I wouldn't say got exposed. I mean, they would have they already lost to the Ghosts week 2. I just feel like it would have been a probably not a mercy as per se. But that's all the things came from there. The only reason why they're above this high is because of Rack's dominant performance. At number 29, I got the Fairbanks Reindeers. Uh, True Safari was actually the original GM for the Fairbanks, but then they didn't want to play anymore, so left. And they're also one of the first few teams not to finish all 5 games ever since season 1. And but like the only accolades from this was Trey winning All Pro DE2. But other than that, it's either they and then they lost to the Steelers in the divisional round by a close. I believe it was a close game, but overall this team took a dip ever since they went 2-0. So that's why they're not as far up. Because I mean, you're starting Bijan, so it's already doomed to start. And then next up, taking another dip, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then as you can see, obviously they had higher than the two seeds. They never went like the 3 seed or 4 seed with the franchise, and mostly had a successful win percentage, making their combined record. Hold on. Oh my fault. It's supposed to be 8-3 for that record. Actually, let me just fix that real quick. Okay, that's fixed. So they were supposed to be a combined record of 8-3. Both of their playoffs losses were upsets besides season 12. And then still, Blocks has the most wide receiver yards in this franchise with 1,939. And one thing to note, I did drop him from number 8 to number 9. But as you see, Tina and Charlock helped carry P Man to that Super Bowl. P Man was still establishing himself as a decent tier quarterback, and I think having Tina and Charlock with him made it a lot easier for him. And I had to move the accolades to a different slides because they've won 6 more after season 12, with Tina winning DB of the year, P Man winning Breakout Player of the Year, and Super Bowl MVP. And then Turlock winning All Pro wide receiver 3, and then Tina and Turlock being DB 1 and 2 for All Pros. And then finally, I have the Glendale Ghosts. This might be a little bit glazed, but I did put them above Mean Green, North Texas. Even though like North Texas would beat uh, Glendale, I do believe that this roster was like a little bit more surprising. This roster low key worked out. It was well. Azinga did well to adjust the offense to the amount of play to the players, and it proved with the scores too. With a lot of high scoring games, never really scored below 40. The highest points allowed was 63, and obviously by the facts too, they were fifth undefeated team in FFL history. They averaged 70 points per game, and then they tied for third most points in the Super Bowl game, which was 77. And then I had to move all their accolades. This is just from one season to another slide. Obviously, with Azinga Masterclass winning MVP, QB of the Year, RB, Kicker of the Year, GM of the Year, and then being All Pro in QB2, RB, DB3, and then Kicker. And then obviously you got Fanta too. He had a great year as well, winning Sack Daddy of the Year, and earning a All Pro spot as a DE1. And then obviously me and Thunder did our parts too, with him winning Kick Return of the Year and All Pro Kick Returner, while me winning Fourth Man of the Year. But that's about it. These are the new franchise rankings. I do have the new teams bolded, and if you want to pause the video just to look at it, then be sure go ahead. But overall, that's the new rankings. But that's the end of the video. Um, this took a while to make, even though I did announce it in Force First Media. But overall, I will see you guys at the end of season 13 once this was over.